We have to do that tomorrow. I apologize to everyone. So we'll have the winner tomorrow because I don't want to derail today's class.
Okay.
For that, since we have momentum going. But I apologize, everyone. We'll get that done first thing. Okay, so welcome to Monday, what is the date?
19th.
May 19th from Las Vegas. How's the weather outside?
Nice.
Beautiful.
Okay, which
Sunny.
means what?
100 degrees.
It's going to be 90.
In the 80s.
It's in the 80s, slight breeze.
Yes.
How's the weather in California?
Cold.
Cold. Is it cloudy? Is it June gloom?
Yes, we have a overcast today. We're
Okay.
finally cooling off.
Huh. Okay. Well, okay, so let's get started. Today's class is Employment Workshop, Reality Meets Theory. We spend a lot of time in here talking about apps and talking about Employment Planning Workshop, but we don't spend a lot of time on putting that theory into practice. And that's what we're going to do this week other than tomorrow. We're going to take the theory and put it into practice. So who in California wants to tell us about what that Tom's video was about?
Speak louder.
Taking a small investment and building a company out of it.
Okay, say that one more time. You were just a little bit muted.
Taking a small investment and making a company out of it.
Okay, good. Taking a small investment. Thank you, Victoria. Taking a small investment, making a company out of it. Now, why was he recommending doing that? Even anybody here?
Something that you have to just for passion.
Right. Okay, good. So it's find something that you want to do that you're passionate about doing and just go do it. Okay, make it work. And what did he want to do?
He wanted to give shoes to other children.
Right, to children in need.
Yes.
He wanted to make sure people had shoes. And so he just went out and did it, and then he wrote a book. He wants people to buy the book, and the book includes stories of other people who've done things.
Yeah.
Right?
Small amounts of money.
Entrepreneurs funded their businesses with little money.
Okay. Now, in California, why should we care about Tom's?
Why?
Huh?
They said because he's providing a service.
Okay. But why should we care?
Motivation.
Anyone can do it.
Why shouldn't we?
Okay, speak up a little bit.
Fernando said because we can use it as an example.
Right. We can use it as an example, and it's actually two kinds of examples. One is to reinforce the underlying purpose of our employment planning, which is to find employment that you would consider a calling or a destiny position, something you want to do as opposed to just a job. So it's to underpin that, but also it's to go out and do something that we can put on our resumes, and for the school, it's something that we believe we can turn into a vehicle to employ all, or at least a good chunk of all of the students that we have. And in the venture capital world, this would be called doing well by doing good. So what does that mean? Doing well by doing good. Anybody? Fernando, what does that mean?
Well,
You say to a venture capitalist, I want to do well by doing good. What does that mean?
Doing well by doing good. The way I see it is, you know, you're doing what you feel like your calling is. So obviously you're going to do good, and that's going to pay off for them.
Okay, good guess. Anyone else? Dodie.
Buy one book and you get one book.
Well, no, but what is the concept? Doing well by doing good.
Well, it's like money, and doing good is moral.
Right, okay, so Trevon nailed it. Doing well in this context, if you're talking to a venture capitalist, doing well means making money. Making money by doing good, by doing things that help other people. That's completely legitimate, completely kosher. Everybody will stand up and applaud if you say, I do well by doing good. People don't expect that to do good, you can't do well. Okay, people don't expect to do good, you can't do well. You can do well, you can do well by doing good. So this is going to be a practical application of that. Now, in California, what is the idea for the school? What are we going to do?
Go.
I'm not going to say a word.
That's Scott here. I'm imitating Scott.
Mindy said, find employment.
Find employment. Okay. What is the project that we're working on? What is the do well by doing good? Rob, do we have to send these invitations to everyone, or can they try to?
Oh, for the,
if they want to join?
where can I post it that they can just click on? Which can I post it?
Come sit over here, Graciela.
I don't know.
Or else,
I guess I have to do
are
it.
they on the book back?
That one's muted.
What? What is the project?
What's the project, guys?
Yeah, we're working on it. You just understand that we're working.
Well, they're going to be included now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here's the project. Okay, with Tom's is buy one and we'll donate one, right? Everybody understands that part about Tom's shoes?
Yes.
Okay.
Donating to the underprivileged.
In California, does everybody understand it? Has anybody not heard of Tom's shoes out in California?
They said they all understand it.
Okay, so Tom's Shoes is a company. You can go to their website. You should bookmark it. If you buy a pair of shoes, they'll donate a pair of shoes. The shoes are not cheap. They're not. All right, let me say it this way: they're cheap. They're cheap, but they're also not inexpensive. They used to be like $40 or $50 for a pair. Yeah, I think they've gone down. Yeah.
No, they're still that price is. And some shoes are close to 100.
Yeah, okay, so they're not really inexpensive shoes, but the idea is that you're doing well by doing good. You get to have a pair of shoes that people see the tag on the back, and they say, oh, you can afford to spend that kind of money on a pair of shoes, and you're helping someone else. I just buy shoes for myself. I'm not really doing good.
Yeah.
So you're doing well by doing good, except you're not making money on it. You're just feeling good. And you're getting a pair of shoes. So that's their idea. And our idea, what we're going to do is we're going to sell a book. And the books will be in, there's at least one book left in Los Angeles, right, in Santa Fe Springs, right, Crystal?
I believe so. Rose has the count on the books.
Okay, so there's at least one of those books, but the new book doesn't look at all like the old book. And it's a different dimensions, more pages, different title, different cover. It looks completely different. Our idea is, well, the doing good part is we're believing in the simple proposition that what? What's the simple proposition? No, what's the simple proposition of what we're doing?
Help us help
The
you.
obligation. What is it?
Doing well by doing good.
No, the
No,
proposition.
No, education.
Buy one, get one.
No, that's the business model.
Society has an obligation to the people.
Very good, Jamie. Society has an obligation to educate all its people. Okay? Our school is dedicated to the proposition that society has an obligation to educate all its people. not just to create a system where kids go to school, not just to promote people who are not ready to be advanced to the next grade, and not just to blame people who drop out before they get their GED or high school diploma. So, and that's what Larson does. Larson is a school to help adults get an education level that they need to get stable and meaningful employment. That's what we're dedicated to, that simple proposition. Now, it's a little bit different in Los Angeles because everybody there has a strong, good work history. Most of the people, most of the adults in the country that need education don't have a good, strong work history. So you in California are generally the exception, but we can tap into your experience to help make this project successful. Okay? So our business model is what, Scott?
Our business model is to help others.
No.
I mean, make doing well by.
No, with the business model. What is the business? What are we going to do?
Oh, we're going to sell books.
Yeah, so you buy a book, and we're going to give a book to an organization that has people that want to become educated. So we'll donate to the Salvation Army, Goodwill, shelters, etc. And we've been using the book here for how many weeks?
Oh, 8 weeks. Or what? 7 weeks.
Since November. Since November. Okay, since November. So we know the book is good. We know the book is fun. Our Hangouts on Air are on YouTube. You can watch them. Yes.
Does Larson have a page in there, I would hope?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the school has a page. So here's what we're doing. Everybody gets to participate in one of the 4 functions that a business has: administration, accounting, sales and marketing, or operations. And what we want to do is spread the message and get people to go to our crowdfunding page to buy a book. If they buy a book for $8, that includes shipping and handling. Everybody who buys a book for $8, we will donate another book to a worthy cause. And this week we'll ship some books up to LA. Everybody's going to end up getting one of the books, one of the new books. We'll ship some books up to LA so everybody has books. And what we want to do is figure out how do we spread the message so that everybody feels it's worth spending $8 at least to help somebody improve their life. Now, if they spend $20, how many books do we ship, Rob?
4.
4. If somebody wants to spend $20, we will ship 4 books. Or not ship. They get 4 books for $20, so it's $5 a book.
I thought it was 3.
Plus, we will donate 4 books to an organization. Now, who thinks the numbers don't appear to work?
We ship them 4, and then we give away 4.
Yeah.
So we're doing what?
Yeah, but if it's $8 a book, don't afford too much.
No, $8.
Okay. So here is So here, this goes under important thoughts in your composition book. Nolan Bushnell, the inventor of the coin-operated video game industry, told me a secret about successfulness in games. And it's very simple. People like a game more if they think they can figure out how to cheat and win. Okay?
That it?
Yeah.
It's true.
No, it's not.
People
who play games.
People enjoy the game more if they
People who play video games.
They like it better
if they can cheat and win.
Figure out how to cheat and win?
Yeah.
I'm an exception.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna write that down.
So, here's how that works here. Here's how that works here.
To gain more if they can cheat and win.
If people say, wait a second, one book is $8, I can spend $8 and get one book. I can get 4 books for $20.
Yeah.
Or if I'm Salvation Army, I can get 8 books. If Salvation Army donates,
Yeah.
spends $20, and says, well, we'll spend $20 if we get the other 4 books. The other 4. They end up getting 8 books. They end up getting, no, I didn't say if people cheat. I said if they think they can cheat.
If they,
Yeah. They're giving you nickel in.
If they think they can cheat. So game designers build things in there that make people think they're cheating, but it's built in. Okay?
Brilliant.
So Tony went from that sucks to brilliant. I did not change the wording. I said exactly the same thing. If people think they can cheat and win. Okay, so here, if Salvation Army thought, hey, we can get 8 books for $20, how much is that per book?
$2.50.
$2.50 a book. Nobody can buy a book for $2.50.
Yeah.
We're coming out ahead.
Yeah.
How many $20 can we get?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we have that figured out. The fundamental proposition that we want everybody in California to start from is that society has an obligation to educate its people. Our country is very good, and back in the 19th century it was very good at creating a public education system for kids. And that system has got a lot of problems. We're not the best system in the world by far, and the places where it's bad, it's pretty bad. The places where it's good makes the numbers look better, because some places it's really good, and those pull everybody else up. But if you look at the places that are bad, it's real bad. You have people who are not really literate getting out of the school system. So, you know, the way it works, if you're a kid, you have to go to school to a certain point. And part of the problem is people get advanced to the next grade and they're not really ready for it. When what?
Started that program, No Child Left Behind, they were just passing students.
Right. And so the teacher says, well, the kid is on the bubble, I'll let next year's teacher, yeah, I'll let them do the dirty deed, hold the kid back. The schools are set up that they aren't really rewarded for holding people back. And ultimately the teachers say, I can only care so much, right? I can't care more than the parents. If the parents don't care, I can't care more than the parents. Now, some people, good teachers can get to, but that's only 1 or 2 over maybe some number of year period. It's not 1 or 2 a week. It's not 1 or 2 a month. It's not 1 or 2 a year. It might be 1 or 2 in their career that they got it. And the reason is because the kid is at school for a certain amount of time, and the influence of the teacher, here versus the other influences. While the kid is at school, they can get a kid excited, right? When the kid is not at school and they go back to the family, and if the family is hostile towards education, the teacher really can't get through to them. Now, there are some people who you have a good teacher and they had a good coach. And that overcame all of the influences of the family. So the schools, when they failed, teachers said, we can't care more than the family. We can't do something. I have my family. I can't sacrifice my life to try to help these kids. And then a lot of people got to the level of, well, you know, it's just a job. This is my job. I do the best I can from 8 to 5, and you know, whatever happens is going to happen. So here, you know, our school believes society has an obligation. We cannot give up on educating all of the people. We can't have a system where people get promoted to the next grade that are not ready. We can't then blame the people who drop out because they couldn't make it. You know, there's things happen. There's a million things that happen. We don't focus on educating less than adults. Our license is post-secondary. You can't even be in this school unless you're 18 by law. You're not even supposed to be here unless you're 18. It's post-secondary. This is for adults. That's what our license in California is. That's what our license here is. But we believe, and what we have seen, what I've seen over the last 3 years is there's a lot of people who the first time around did not get their degree. And they were kind of hostile towards education because it didn't work for them. And it didn't work for a lot of people they knew. And not everybody needs to get a GED or high school diploma. Then when they came to Larson, and they dealt with Rose and Crystal and Johnny and Stephanie and all of these people over the last 25 years, all of a sudden Larson became their Harvard. All of a sudden their negative views or indifferentness about education changed, and education became valuable, a tool to help obtain stable and meaningful employment, a tool to feel good, a tool that you don't feel like, I can't type, I can't use the internet, it's embarrassing, I don't know what's going on. This thing of, there's this whole bunch of other stuff happening in the world, but I don't have a way to access it. I don't know what's going on. All of that changes because of the curriculum at Larson, partially the curriculum, but mainly people like Crystal and Rose and Stephanie and Patricia when she was here. All the people are passionate about helping adults obtain the tools they need to get stable and meaningful employment. Okay, well, we now want to branch out and get that message spread louder, and we want to go from the stage of being lone nuts to starting a movement. Okay, and the movement is to be making enough noise and making enough things happen that somebody in a position of power says, you know what? We can educate adults. We can create a system that's easy for adults to do. One example of that is if you are in jail or you are in prison, that's the perfect time to go back to school to get your GED or high school diploma. Okay? I think another great opportunity, and we've done it in California for the last couple of years, and I think something's on the table again, is for people who are on unemployment to go to school if you want unemployment. Now that's a political thing, and what people know right now is a lot of people, not a lot, few people who are on unemployment do not abuse the system, right? It's mostly abused, okay? You're going to promise to go look for work, and we're going to promise to pay you, okay? Well, the government does pay people, but what happens on the other side? Okay, and some of them try, but if you don't have the tools, you don't have the tools. What?
I was on unemployment for a year and a half, and I got laid off from the state center, and I would have been more than happy to go back to school.
Right. Okay. So.
I wouldn't want to look for work.
Yeah.
And they still didn't have nothing after a year and a half.
Right. So if we make enough noise, if we keep repeating the message long enough, somebody's going to say, "Hey, here's a way to overcome the abuse of the system. You don't have the skills, you don't have a GED, you don't have a high school diploma, you're probably not going to get stable and meaningful employment. So while we're paying you whatever it is, we want you to go to school. Or let's just call a spade and say you're never going to get work, so we're just going to pay you to pretend. You don't need to pretend anymore. You're not going to get a job, let's just pay you, and then your personal, did you feel good when you couldn't get work?
No, it was really frustrating because my union director told me that if I did go get a job that wasn't union, I'd jeopardize my
Well, how was, you know, self-respect and things like that?
You just pushed me into
Personal
vacation.
value goes down when you're in this position of feeling I'm helpless. Okay? So I believe, and fortunately the other staff here in Las Vegas and Brendan Shear and Sean and Sherry all agree that if we are able to spread the message long enough and loud enough, eventually someone in a position to do something is going to say, okay. We've already started that with the court system here, that if you're a first-time offender, if you qualify for house arrest, which means ankle bracelet here in Las Vegas, if you qualify for that and you want to go into that, then you have to go to school.
Oh, really? You can't just pay and stay home?
I don't even know what that means.
Well, it's $10 a day to be on house arrest.
Yes.
So obviously, Larson has a plan to expand bust at the seams and go nationwide, okay, which is good. But as far as the obligation.us, we, besides our statement, our belief, and all that, it seems like there has to be a solution involved.
Well,
That
the
we
solution.
have to share the solution.
Well,
like your ideas.
Okay, the solution is there needs to be schools that are focused on educating adults.
I know, but that's very vague.
Well,
That's vague.
and here is an example of one such school.
Yes, this is far from vague.
Right?
City.
Okay, here's one that works. Yes. Huh? Because we don't, okay, so the question is why don't we get a license to do people who are not adults? And because it's hard enough to get a license to do adults. It's not easy. And so Tony brings up a good point. What is the message that we need to repeat? Well,
Specifically.
the specific message is society has an obligation to educate all of its people.
And so therefore.
Okay, and here are the people. There are motivated adults that don't have the opportunity to go back to school. Let's create a means for them to do it. Okay? And we have a functioning school that can be a model for other schools.
Yeah, but I'm thinking people aren't going to think right away, oh yeah, maybe we should put the unemployment in the program.
No, they're not going to think. No, they're not going to think that. Okay, so that comes down to a very important point that goes to these TED Talk videos we watch about starting a movement. People don't start movements in general. How many people, does anybody here know that has started a movement that anyone else knows of?
No.
Okay. People, do you know Gandhi? Okay. So the point is this, we are sheeple. We're programmed to be sheeple. We follow the flock. Okay, we join the flock. Okay? The guy from Tom's was talking about just go do it. You can do it. You don't need to wait or just sit on the sidelines. Okay, go do it. So the answer to your question, Tony, is we have to tell people. We aren't expecting people to say, oh, let's go start school, let's do that. But we need to get a means to tell people.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't just.
I know right where to do it.
Okay, we can't just randomly do stuff. We have to create a program. Now, the good news for everyone in California and here in Las Vegas is, if you do this once, what? You can do it again, right? You can do it again.
Yes.
If you do it once, you have value to wherever you go in the future. Yes, Renee?
You'll have something for your resume.
Okay? You have that. This product, if we do it, generates enough money for everybody who's involved that paddles a little bit in the boat. There's enough so people get rewarded for paddling. And when I say paddle, I don't mean like Shackleton.
Yeah.
Paddle. Okay?
Yeah, we don't like momentum.
Putting the work out.
Okay? So, the message is very simple. Society has an obligation to educate all its people. And we're going to start a movement around that simple proposition. And we are going to get people do feel better about doing well by doing good if there's something they do well. They get out of it, not do well. If there is a well, what do I get?
Incentive.
What do I get for helping someone else? And the thing is, they get a book. Now, I'm very confident that the book has value that nobody's going to say, this is not worth $8. Well, when I say some people, I mean the people who can afford and are interested in helping other people.
Right.
There's a lot of people who don't give a damn about anyone else.
Right.
There's a lot of people who do give a damn but don't have the ability to do anything. So the universe I'm talking about is people who care and have the ability to do something.
We're talking about our people. We're gonna do this.
Well, all of the people we're spreading this out to. Okay? Well, philanthropists for sure, we want those people, just like Lawrence Lessing said, ultimately we're going to get the big money people, but we're starting with the small money people.
Yeah, I got to start.
Okay?
Exactly. You gotta
And,
start somewhere.
you know, the magic number is like $20. You have a chance to get people to spend $20. If you go and ask people for a $100 minimum, the numbers drop by more than one-fifth. They drop to, you know, a lot lower. So we think $8 is a good number. That's 2 drinks at Starbucks, right? 2 venti lattes. 2 venti lattes at Starbucks. No, I drink tea. So, but I know that people do like Starbucks. It's their reward for a tough life. So, in California, it's true. Okay, so what we're going to do in California is we're going to, I guess, send links. Okay, so Stephanie got a link. We're going to send a link to Crystal, and then you spread those out to everybody. We want you to join the obligation.us community. We want you to join the community. And the community that we want you to join is our resource center. It's where we keep all of the information of what the project's about. And then, since you don't know a lot about the project and thus are not drinking the Kool-Aid yet, we want you to come up. We want you to be the people who say, I don't understand that, you know, that bring up the questions that the other people are going to ask that we want to solve now. Okay? And then figure out how to distribute the book, how to get people to buy the book, or how to get people to sponsor the book. And it's 50 cents per book to sponsor the book, and for 50 cents they get a full page, or for 60 cents they get a full page color to talk about themselves. And I will tell you that this is a book that people keep. So the people who sponsor this book, it's not like putting an ad in a magazine that gets replaced every week or every month. This is a book that people keep for a long time.
It's a strong selling
We've had
point.
books out there for 15 years that people still cherish.
And it's 100 book minimum, right?
No.
So it's like an archive.
To sponsor, yeah. To sponsor, it's a $50 requirement, and you end up getting, you sponsor 100 books. You're in 100 books, full page in 100 books, which is very, very, very cheap if somebody's looking at it from an advertising perspective. It's really, really, really cheap. So, in California, we want you to, okay, so Crystal has it, Stephanie has it, disseminate this, look at the stuff. The first thing to do is to come back probably Wednesday, because tomorrow we're going to be doing the forms. Come back and say, here's what doesn't make sense to me. Here's what I don't get. Because whatever you don't get, a lot of other people don't get it either. We need people to get it the first time. We need people to get it in the first 10 seconds. Or in the first 30 seconds, they need to get it. And we need people to, on an emotional level, say, yeah, I know somebody like that. I know somebody who's motivated, but they can't get work because they don't have a GED or high school diploma, and functionally, they're operated at about a 3rd grade level, which is where most adults who don't have an education today, and a lot of them who do, operate. Okay? If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. But if you're competing with people who just got out of UNLV or somewhere else, you're at a very serious disadvantage. So what we want in California is the people in hey, he made it. He escaped. I'm sorry. What was I saying? What? Prank call.
We want to be able to compete with college students, even though
Yeah, well, and have an advantage because adults have world experiences. We know what we're talking about. We've been there, right? So the assignment for California is to figure out what's wrong with this program. And it could be we're just not communicating it right yet. Okay? Now, what questions can I answer in California, from California, in the next minute or two?
Any questions, guys?
Somebody make a motion.
Real quick. So when they're talking about program, they're talking about the Larson program? Is that what they're talking about? Or the book?
Ed, when you're talking about programs, the students want to know, are you talking about the book or are you talking about the school?
Okay, say that one more time, Crystal, please.
The students want to know, when you're talking about program, are you talking about the book or are you talking about the school?
I'm talking about the movement.
Okay.
Okay, and the goal of the movement is to create awareness of the problem. The problem is there are too many people that are not well enough educated to get stable and meaningful employment. That's the problem. And the problem is those people then get into things like crime, drugs, bad stuff. And they also don't encourage their kids to get an education. And it usually runs that way. Uneducated people usually have kids that are not educated. People who do have college degrees usually end up with kids who do have college degrees. People that are in prison rarely have a college degree. People who are not in prison, not enough of them have a high school diploma or whatever. So it's to create awareness. And one of the ways is to tap into people's wanting to get something out of helping someone else. What do I get for it? You want me to help someone else. Well, what's in it for me? Well, this great book, you're going to like it. Okay, so our fundamental goal is to create awareness. If we do it long enough and to enough people, eventually someone will come forward. And we need to keep Stephen Taylor in the loop because I think I told everybody Wednesday morning I got a call at 6:30 from a guy running for state assembly saying, I got a call, they're trying to take our school away from us. And that is what we want. We want people in a position to do something, to say, here's something, here's a solution to the problem. Here is a school that works. So, and we got our license, well, actually, I got my license to be here Thursday because the commission recognized that the school here, that Larson is a unique school. And that's a good thing. That was a compliment. We are a unique school. We do not, we do something very good for a group of people who it makes sense, SENSE and CENTS, it makes sense to educate them. So, any other questions in California now?
No.
Okay, good. So the assignment is to read and join the obligation.us so you can learn more about what we're doing, and to come back and say on Wednesday, say, here's what I don't get, or this doesn't make sense, or here's why it'll never work. Okay?
Okie dokie.
That's the assignment for Wednesday. Tomorrow, we will award the people for their forms. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.